Welcome please to the JVG podcast, where these G's are gonna spread their seeds of knowledge about the league. It's flourishing with these. These funny catchers seem to be well read, esteemed and honest. Like the man himself, Jeff Van Gundy. They are high IQ, so cerebral and funny. So if you're on the bus, just border on the dunny. Listen to the
JVG NBA Tribute Show.
Would you care to elaborate?
Yes. So me and Mike were talking off air.
mere moments ago, actually.
Yeah. If you've seen the Instagram promo for this episode, I'm gonna proactively say that that's what we're gonna use.
Well, that's so funny because probably for maybe the second time in podcast history, I was gonna preemptively have something for the Instagram promo. Okay, but you go first.
Well, we're talking about Oz Post, as we tend to do. And I got a parcel delivered that was put into one of those pickup one of those lockers.
Yeah.
And you were saying you haven't used one of these before?
No, never have.
My fucking goodness. I'm definitely a proponent of fostering innovation. As someone that owns AirPods, I shouldn't be able to tap my left ear twice and pause a song, or tap my right ear twice and skip to the next song. But these things are here to stay. And I think that it was one of the more delightful experiences I've had in like the last few years. You go to the pickup locker, you put in a code that they text you, and then a door just opens.
Yeah.
And your parcel's there.
That's great. That's awesome.
And then as I took the parcel out, it started closing by itself. And I was like, no way is this going to close by itself. And it wasn't going to. It was just because of the wind. But I was like, if this opens and closes by itself, then we have to talk about it on the pod. Yet still here we are.
That's a pretty good compromise, I think. And, compare that to my University of Alabama Herb Jones jersey that hasn't shown up in about 2 months. Just checked on DHgate today, and it was left at my house in Preston. So I'm gonna. I was checking in the elevator up here, so gonna have to see what's happened with that.
Oh my god! When did that update happen?
Today.
It's amazing that you got that jersey, because I've got a jersey that I've got 2 jerseys on the way that I've been hiding from you guys. Yeah. Because they're so fire, but mine's very similar vein to that.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a reveal at some stage, I'm sure. Maybe episode 100. Well, I actually had something else to share today.
What was that, Marco?
You remember that thing where you put in the 2 phrases and the AI?
What was it called? Narrative device.
Narrative device, yeah. So you may have seen on Twitter, there's this other one going around that's like, you put a concept in and it makes like 9 photos of what it thinks is the concept. So I prepared one and I thought we could maybe do 1 or 2 more. And the beauty of having a video pod, and also this being at the beginning of the episode so I can be bothered to edit it in, is maybe we can even show the audience what we've created.
Oh, true.
So instead of just hearing us piss ourselves laughing, they might, laugh along.
Okay, cool. So if anyone is listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite podcasts, just flip on over to the YouTube.
Exactly.
For 1 minute.
It'll be the same timestamp.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, go on.
So this is the first one that I put in.
Oh my god. Whoa. Oh my god. Okay.
So I'm just gonna take a little screenshot there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
You know what? I might even. I think that one is the best one there.
Yeah. So this is. Well, do you want to take it? I'm not going to say that. It's a photo of. Well, it's actually 9 photos of Russell Westbrook.
And the prompt was, and Paulie, please edit this one out. Russell Westbrook eating a.
My God! How dare you? How dare you do that to him? I had a bit of a Russell Westbrook resurgence today for like a split.
Wow!
I was watching some of his highlights from Washington, and we were always wearing those grey jerseys last year, which looked awful. I'm not a proponent of grey jerseys. No. They're quite awful, but he actually did quite a lot for the team, and it's better that he's not at the team.
Yeah,
but I think it's more highlighting the drop-off between Wizards and Lakers Westbrook than anything else. Because he was, like, seriously our best player. Like, better than Beal. So, Matt, you picked probably the worst time. I would have ragged on Westbrook any other day. It is hilarious, but it's just, like... It's also kind of the images it creates is fucked
They're quite scary.
They're harrowing.
And, like, they're always scary. They're never they never get the eyes. I don't know if the AI doesn't know how to get eyes or something like that.
Yeah. So is it supposed to be scary?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, no.
Okay. So those are two different answers.
The technology hasn't gotten past not creating scary images.
Right. It's I'm sure everyone now has seen what we're talking about. But that's like they're quite demonic.
It's nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
I think the term is.
I think that's I think maybe we should stick to narrative advice.
You didn't have one suggestion that you maybe wanted to pop in? You know. We'll keep it NBA related if possible.
Okay. Jeff Gundy getting hit by a van.
Are we doing Jeff Van Gundy getting hit by a van?
I don't think I minced my words, but we can do that.
I just, I don't want to confuse the computer. Now, the only thing is sometimes it takes like 45 seconds for it to generate. So,
okay,
so tell us, when you tell me where you got the idea for this prompt from. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Where do you get your ideas from?
Well, thanks for the question. It is one I've never heard before. But when you said it was going to be a prompt and then it was going to show you 9 photos, I thought this was going to be what you had searched, what you had put in.
You thought I'd already searched that?
I thought. Well, I knew that it was
just going to be... It's quite a guess.
Yeah, I know, but that's what it was going to take. I thought you were going to go something completely left field. Right, so I was like, I'll just get the preloaded left field guess.
Yeah.
How's it loading?
We're on 40 seconds right now.
We're on 40 seconds. Okay, so there probably isn't an image for this.
Well,
I don't know how this website works.
It's crazy. Like, it comes eventually. It just...
All right. Well, should we come back to this?
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the pod or something. So what's it called for anyone that wants to use it at home?
And this isn't very easy to communicate. It's DALL-E Mini. So that's DALL. Oh, here we are.
Oh, thank God. The eyes again.
Wow, he's not really getting hit by a van, is he?
No. Some of the... Whoa. Yeah.
That one's quite good.
Yeah, but like... Oh God, it's very unsettling to look at. He's also not getting hit by a van in any of these.
Now, hold on. If we look at this bottom row here, which I'll encourage the users at home to do, I think that's Jeff Van Gundy with Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh my God!
So I think the AI has interpreted this perhaps as Jeff Van Gundy hitting Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh my God, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It also feels like some sort of movie. It feels like something they could use in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Where they're like the evil person like uses this website and formula, and then it summons like somewhat minions, and then like this is their army. So it'll summon this amount of Jeff Van Gundys.
Damn.
That will then go and kill.
Right, some sort of like cloning device.
Yeah.
The
like
clones come out all fucked up.
Yeah, and they have to like, I don't know, their superpowers like they get 5 guesses per month.
Right.
And like you just gotta, I don't know, you figure out the rest. I give you the idea.
Well, it's certainly not a freaking screenwriting podcast.
No, but what is it? It's a freaking basketball.
It's a freaking basketball podcast. Episode 97, by the way. If you haven't figured that one out already.
If you got lost in that intro there at any point, it's fair enough.
I know I did. So, I mean, what a great time to be a basketball fan, as we always say.
Yeah, for the first time in like a couple weeks now as well.
We actually had like 1.5 good games of basketball, dare I say it.
I reckon you dare to dream. I think it could even be 1 3/4.
Yeah, I would. That would be my gander as well.
Yeah,
there was definitely one quarter I didn't like.
No. Last quarter of game 2.
That was pretty bad. Yeah. No, I'm sticking with 1.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's cut to the chase.
Now the chase is. Oh well, I feel like there's so many takeaways.
Yeah.
I'm a bit loud.
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like there's so many takeaways. I think we should start with the off-court stuff. Namely Jason Tatum. Now, before last episode, did Jason Tatum... Oh, no, yeah. Jason Tatum had...
We were quite horrified about the Kobe text on air last episode.
So let's go through it as a play-by-play. Mm-hmm. First of all, he texts Kobe. Secondly, he wears a 24 armband whilst playing for the Boston Celtics. Thirdly, he then posts the text to Kobe on Instagram for everyone to see. So that's 3 strikes, which means you are out.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how he got a 4th and 5th hit, but he then... Oh, I'm missing the fourth one. I know the last one is the Instagram photo. Oh, the fourth one is he dresses up as Kobe did when he tried out for the Celtics. He dresses up in the same outfit to try out to train with the Celtics. And then does he change his Instagram? Okay, so he changes his Instagram profile picture to there's a photo of Kobe like lying with his head on a basketball, like lying on the ground. The ball is wedged along a bench, I'll say, and then Kobe's like, actually, if you've ever seen Marco read a book in bed, this is exactly it's exactly how Kobe's lying. Like, neck is not at a good angle.
My God. Perfect comparison.
But then Jason Tatum has got a side-by-side or a top-to-bottom of him doing the same pose, and it's just so beyond enough at this point.
Yeah. I just want to know what's going through his head. Because you're in the NBA Finals, and okay, that first text, all right, you know, maybe you legitimately did that. Maybe you legitimately did that before Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. But now it's so, like, purposeful now. It's like, I'm gonna, like, just fucking exploit this guy's legacy for clout, might I add, at every opportunity. And it's like, you're playing in the NBA Finals. Focus on that. Don't change your Instagram profile picture.
He's got to go. I think he used to be cringe and awful, and he used to have a bad kid. But like now, I think his character is indefensible.
Yeah, right.
The only saving grace, I think, is if he comes out and says he's trolling the whole time. That is honestly the only way he can repair his image. But Jason, you're a father. Like, there's a person in this world that calls you dad. Stop acting like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not telling you how to father your kid, but I'm saying if you are a dad, if you are a mum, if you're a parent, like, how can you do this? How can you do this with a person that's dead?
Yeah.
Like, it's especially because the person is dead as well. And it's like he just keeps, I mean, pardon the pun, but beating a dead horse about this dead person.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let him rest. And it's like, you're also playing shit.
Yeah. That I did think after Strike 5 that, you know, surely there's an element of self-awareness. And he's like, you know, this will get the Twitter trolls really riled up. I don't think it's like a bit, but I think he's like, fuck man, you know that mentality, like, they hate and I just make them hate harder.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like after a while, I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's actually kind of hurting my feelings. You know what I'm doing? Controlling the narrative. It's like you don't have to die on this hill.
Yeah.
You straight up don't have to.
Do you think someone in his team edited the profile picture for him, or do you think he did it himself? Now, this is a loaded question because the most likely answer is he just found it on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
But option 1 or option 2?
I like to think he did it.
Or he so sad.
Or he paid someone so much.
Yeah.
He paid someone so much to do it.
But you know, early in the season when like Jalen Green or Anthony Edwards is getting the like side by side like shitty Instagram stitches of like them and Michael Jordan, like, oh my god, he did the dunk in exactly the same way. Like, Anthony Edwards didn't make any of those photos. Neither did Jalen Green. It's like the worst adolescent NBA fan in the world. And yeah, that's who you're acting like right now, Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Now to it's not really a time I want to compliment Jason Tatum, but let's take it to basketball and to game 1 of the NBA Finals. Yeah, I reckon 1 game and 3/4 of great basketball. Jason Tatum. I know we rag on you off for who you are as a person, as we all should. But amazing that he came out so ready to be a playmaker in game 1. I feel like he made like a pre-adjustment that was like... The adjustment wasn't like, all right, they're going to defend me. How do I get my shots off? It was like, okay, they're going to lock in on me. How are we going to win a game? Because, yeah, I feel like he showed like, okay... We have to win a ring. Like, it's not about me finding a way to score around this D. It's like, they're going to take away my shot. I have to make shots for other people. And that was great in game 1, which ended up being a really comfortable Celtics win.
Yeah, I think Dante on the Deep 2 last week said, okay, The Warriors just going to let Marcus Smart and all the other role players get open 3-pointers and just hope that they miss a number of them. And that was like their tactic going into game one, was just hedge on every screen that Jason Tatum calls, like double him so early. And they let Smart, Horford and White they gave him so many open threes. It was ridiculous. But you're completely right. Tatum was ready for that. Like it wasn't like, sorry to throw out a stray here, but it wasn't like Devin Booker like, oh my god, they're doubling me. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, he knew it was coming, and he was already ready to make everyone else on the court better because of what he sort of preempted. The Warriors, skipping a bit ahead to game two, like that was just the biggest adjustment. Was like, they went in going, okay, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, these crazy wing scoring threats. The only way we're going to stop them is if we we double, we just hope that the rotations aren't fast enough, and we just hope that Marcus Smart doesn't shoot, we hope that the Boston Celtics don't shoot 50% from three from the floor, which I don't think that's a safe assumption to go into an NBA Finals game with.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? 21 of 41 in game one?
21 of 41.
Yeah, and then they still shot 40% in game two from three.
Yeah.
Now I think if you want to criticize how well Boston shot in game two, then go crazy. But they shot about 50% from three in game one. Oh, that's not repeatable. Why? Like they worked so well as a team.
Yeah.
The players that knew they were going to get the open shots were ready to hit them. I don't understand. I don't agree with discrediting how they shot in game one. If you want to do whatever you want with game two. Don't care about that. But they worked so well as a team, and they out Udoka in the second half. I remember the first half of game one. I was like, wow, Steve Kerr's the best coach in the world. I actually started writing an article. And then second half, Udoka outcoached him. The players were ready to play Udoka's game plan, and they were just so ready for the game. And I just don't think it's fair at all to discredit. Like, it's not a Warriors loss game one. It was a Celtics win.
Yeah, exactly. After the game, it was like, oh, they shot 9 of 12 in the fourth. Al Horford shot 6 of 8. If Al Horford is ever going to shoot 6 of 8, it's going to be in his first NBA Finals game of his career. That's the first time that's the most threes he's ever hit in a game. Of course it is. He's playing in the NBA Finals. So I think this sort of like saying that something isn't repeatable when it's in the 7 most important games of the series is just redundant and stupid.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and repeat it. That's how you win a basketball game. And
with how finite the finals are, or a playoff series is in 7 games, like, it's not repeatable. It's like, okay, well, they won 1.
Yeah.
They got to do it 3 more times. It doesn't actually have to be 100% repeatable. It has to be 50% repeatable after game 1.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like Steve Kerr, at the end of game 1 was like, well, that's not repeatable. Like, he adjusted. so like, between them, Smart, Horford, White took 23 threes in game 1. They took 7 between them in game 2. Horford didn't take a single one. He just didn't get an open look at 3. Because they were like, the Warriors' attitude going to game 2 was like, let's defend everyone on this Boston team because that's the only way we're going to beat them.
Yeah. Also, the Warriors' game 2 was unbelievable. I like that Kerr is like, all right, well, we're going to have to put Draymond on one of Brown or Tatum at some point. Me too. Like, the rest of this series, I reckon you're going to see a 6-minute stretch where he guards one of them, or 2 6-minute stretches where he guards one of them each. Man, I fucking love the Warriors. I was trying to think about what to say about Steph, because I was like, all right, cool. They're defending really well. Draymond's doing this great stuff defensively. Wiggins, Porter are unbelievable defensively. Gary Payton came in and made 2. I remember the possession he checked in. He was running along the baseline at one point, and he just he took away 2 shots for the Celtics. And I was like, fuck, that is an instant difference made in the game.
The one where he came on, I think it might have been, I was looking at the play-by-play. I think it was the second possession he came on, and the Boston was swinging it. It was the first time from game 1 or 2 that the Warriors made a good rotation. It was the first time that they were keeping up with the ball movement of Boston. And he closed out so quickly on Marcus Smart. He was... he was just coming off like an off-ball screen in the paint, and he came out to meet Marcus Smart on the wing. And like Smart drove, and they ended up getting a bucket. But like it was the first time that they took an open three away from Boston. That like, you know, the Boston player was seriously thinking about taking. And I just don't think it's going to be so huge for the rest of the series. Just having him for little things like that, just being able to like disrupt that, you know, the swing shoot that Boston were just they were just annihilating the Warriors within game one.
Now, it took us 97 episodes, but I reckon the roles have reversed. So, I think I like the point you're making. I want to refine it.
Yeah, okay, nice.
There was a lot of... It felt like when he was on, the Warriors were able to dictate Boston's shot selection.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first game, it was fully Boston dictating their own shot selection.
Yeah.
And... I don't know. I gotta watch... maybe in Game 3 we'll see it a bit more clearly. But I'm not sure if the Warriors sped the Celtics up, or if they just took them, or if they just took their shots away. Do you know what I mean?
I think they completely sped them up.
Oh, okay.
Like you're absolutely correct. Sorry, Aless, this is just how we talk about basketball. But the thing that was standing out the most to me in the third quarter in game 2 was just how rushed Boston were. And I think it's because when the Warriors are like hitting their shots and clicking, there's no slowing down. That doesn't mean you need to play at that pace either. Like, I would have loved to see Tatum or Brown like bring the ball up and just like let it settle for a moment. Yeah. And there was none of that. They were rushing. Like, the thing that Tatum did great in game 1 was he missed a lot of shots, but they were like, this sounds so contradictory. He missed a lot of open shots. Like, he was taking open shots and missing them, and then obviously he was just excelling as a playmaker. In game 2, he was like he was taking a lot of bad contested shots very early in the shot clock, where he was obviously like, we just need to get one on him and then get a stop on the other end. It's like, no, that's not going to work against the Warriors. Yeah. If you take a bad shot, if you throw an errant pass and you turn it over, they're just going to punish you immediately.
Yeah. Oh my god, just how opportunistic they are, and just like how much they value every single possession. The Warriors, this is. I just like that a team is being held to account for all the mistakes they make, because this isn't against the Celtics. This is against legit every other team in the playoffs, because the Warriors just hold you to account. They did it to the Mavericks. I was trying to think about why a slow pace would be better, to the point where I couldn't actually figure out why. So I went on Reddit. And I hate going on RNBA. Like, I hate going on there. It's so much of like, it's just like there's just one opinion. Yeah. And it's just like it's just like you can only think one way about a player. There's no way for discussion. But there was a thread about why slow pace is good, and it doesn't really apply to what the link I was going to make was Tatum and the Celtics and Luka and the Mavs. But you're just not going to speed Luka up. And like the Warriors never really got up and down when Luka was on the court against the Mavs. And yeah, Luka really kind of loves having someone on him with like 5 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go, a player's trying to get like a dribble pull up. 5 seconds to go, Luka's got like 8 dribbles left. Yeah. He's like, okay, cool. With this 5 seconds, I can step you back. I can take you to the key. I can throw you the fuck off me. But like, I will go to 0.1 if I have to. And I think that this was kind of maybe not inevitable for Boston, but it was a very possible reality that they were going to get sped up and kind of just get their confidence shaken and then just play straight into the Warriors' hands. Yeah. I think about again Tatum in particular, but I'll get to the rest of them. Like, one of his best possessions was he was on the wing, Wiggins was on him, and he just did that beautiful like jab step, and Wiggins was like fucking halfway into the paint already, and then he like stepped back to the 3-point line. And there had just been so much action before that moment, you know? It wasn't like, all right, Tatum took it up and he's on the wing, and then he like jab steps on Wiggins. It's like, I think
you know, it's the Luka thing. It's like the longer you have to keep up with Luka, the longer you have to keep up with Steph in the same way. If you're like chasing him around screens, the more likely you are to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And Boston weren't thinking like that. They weren't like capitalizing on the Warriors' weaknesses. I would have loved to see them, you know, obviously go at Jordan Poole every time he's on the floor, but like don't just go at him. Like, really tire him the fuck out. Make him a completely useless player on both ends of the court. Because if he's on skates trying to defend you on every single possession, but you're not just like, all right, bucket, let's go back.
Yeah.
Then there's just going to be this general defensive fatigue that you didn't see in the Warriors in game 2. Like they were never struggling to keep up with Boston, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Who do you see as like effective on the Celtics against the Warriors? Because I've got 5 players that you're happy to run with, and there's a couple of players that you're going to have to make compromises for. But White, Smart, Brown, Tatum, Horford. I think outside of that, if you were to play Pritchard, he was okay in game 1, but like his weaknesses were shown in game 2.
Yeah.
Robert Williams can get played out of a possession, and it can turn into 4-on-5 Warriors. Like 2 possessions is 6 points against the Warriors, and Grant Williams is fucking out of this.
Yeah,
Dude.
His drop off has been
not only
impressive.
Not only game 1 where they just mismatch hunted him. Draymond bullied him in game 2. I think he called him a wannabe or something. She was saying like, "Why are you trying to be me?" and shit like that. And, like, he shut him up. Like, Grant Williams completely stopped talking. Oh, Grant Williams thought he was Draymond, but Draymond showed you he was Cat. Like, you're not tough. And then that's another thing we can unpack later. But like, all right, Boston, are you tough or are you not? Because you can't flop and then also do the tough shit.
Yeah. I would agree with those 5. I think Robert Williams, it was just literally after he'd been playing for 10 minutes that he looked injured. He was actually he was the only, apart from Horford, but God, like, what is wrong with that guy? It's just retire. Like, Horford, how are you this good at this age? Like, defensively, he's easily been like the most stalwart Celtic across these both games. But what I'm trying to say is, apart from Horford, Time Lord was the only big who could like keep up with the perimeter players, but he could only do it for 10 minutes, and then he'd just lose that step. And as soon as he'd like, not like bite on a pump fake or jump or anything, but as soon as he did like any sort of heavy movement, like that was it for him on that possession.
Yeah. That's a great point actually. Outside of those 5 players, all right, and you get a quarter out of Robert Williams.
Yeah.
The Warriors just, if they win one of these next 2 games, they're going to win the series. Because once it gets to like game 5 and 6 and potentially 7, and the Celtics shorten their rotation, those 5 guys are going to be fucking wiped.
Yeah.
And the Warriors, I feel like, might have 7 guys they can, maybe even 8 guys they can go to that you trust in this series. And I think that if the series does go long, then it's like for sure the Warriors. Like if it's a 6 or 7 game series, I can't see the Celtics winning that. They actually need to put everything into these next 2 games.
Yeah.
They have to win them both.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, I want to move on over to the Warriors a bit after this, but yeah, I think game 3, Boston. I think Jaylen Brown needs more of the ball. I think you just need I feel like they were really going, Jason Tatum is the only outlet of our offense, particularly in the third. I think just let him do something. Like he had 12 in the first quarter, and then he had 2 in the rest of the game or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, he did not score that. Don't quote me on that.
No, I checked the I checked the Boston starters points. Outside of Jason Tatum in the last 45 minutes of the game, I think it was 12.
Yeah.
And I think
12.
Yeah. Yeah. Brown ended on 17.
17,
But
there you
he finished the first quarter on 13.
Yeah.
So he had 4 for the rest of the way. Yeah. But 12 points from the starters outside of JT in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah. And it wasn't like he got completely played out of the game because, what you were saying earlier, yeah. Put your 2 best defenders on their 2 best players. Like Wiggins and Draymond just stick with the Jays for the whole game. They're still really good basketball players, and you're gonna get a couple of good possessions against those 2 defenders as Jaylen Brown. So I think just let him do something. Just let him run every possession for 3 minutes and just see what happens because I feel like they were afraid to even see what that would look like at periods in the game. And just go harder on the things that have actually worked. Like, let Clay take bad shots. Let Jordan Poole take bad shots. Honestly, go both of them on the other end. Clay, I think players still fear Clay's defensive prowess, and it's just not quite what it once was. So, if you actively go to get a switch onto Clay and you're an athlete like Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, you might be able to get past him these days,
I don't... I disagree.
You disagree? Wow.
Take that, LS.
Fuck you.
I actually don't think... I think Jaylen Brown, anytime he had Clay on him, was licking his lips. And then, that's when they made the adjustment to put Draymond on him. I think that the adjustment the Warriors need to make is they need to run mid-range sets for Clay. Because not only are they easier looks for him, it adds another element to their offense. Because it's like 3 transition, ball movement turning into layups. But like those, just like 2 midi plays a quarter for Clay. And just chuck them up. Because I reckon 4 of them will go in.
Yeah.
And that's 4 of 8 just on mid-range plays. And that's... You think he shot 4 of 19 last game?
Better than he's been shooting.
Yeah, it's more than twice as good as he shot last game. That's just from 8 plays.
Yeah. I'm going to criticize Clay a bit here. I think he's become a bit of a confidence player where he needs to hit a couple of shots to keep hitting shots. Obviously, we know he's got that other level in him. He did Game 6 Clay. He did the thing.
Yeah, he
did the thing. But I think... particularly in these first 2 games, in game 2, when he didn't hit his first 3 or 4 shots, it's like he's not going to hit many more of those. And there was some bad misses. He was leaving him way short on contested middies, to be fair. But he gets it in his head that he needs to hit a shot.
Yeah.
And so I think what I would build on what you're saying is get him a shot. Actually spend some energy to trying to get Clay an open shot, because then he'll start getting you the difficult ones.
Yeah.
This iteration of Clay, anyway.
Yeah. I also think we need to make mention, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Those back-to-back injuries, I think that, he definitely can play within his means, but he can't play beyond his means. I think that it's completely warranted. I think that he's very important for the Warriors, though, because the Celtics aren't going to change their defensive strategy. He helps Steph get whatever Steph constitutes as an open look. He helps Steph get them.
Yeah, exactly.
He helps that half court transition. Draymond lobbing to the bigs. He helps with spacing all of that stuff out. Jordan Poole, you know what he would thrive in if they had interchange in the basketball in the NBA instead of subs, and just whenever that third quarter run is going, you just swap him out for someone. JP, you take the ball the next 3 possessions, and he'll hit 2 threes, maybe miss one, maybe get to the rim one time, get a layup, and then just sub him straight back off.
Yeah.
But as soon as the game becomes a half court game, he's not as useful.
Yeah.
And
not against a defense like the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. Thank you. You got my back. But did he have 8 points in the last minute and a half of the third quarter? He definitely had 6 points in the last 38 seconds.
Yeah. He looked like doo-doo until then. When the game, I think the game was well and truly over by then as well. He checked in 2 minutes to play, something like that, I want to say.
In the last quarter?
Yeah. And you're right, had scored on every possession. But yeah, that was that was when the Warriors were already 15, 18 points up.
A minute 19 left, 6 points, plus 8.
Yeah.
Plus 8.
Yeah.
Plus 8 in minute 19.
But that wasn't. I don't think any of that was him. Like I think he was riding the.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Obviously, you know, you have to be very skilled to hit any number of those shots, let alone that half-court shot he took at the end. But he was totally riding the momentum of the rest of the Warriors. And I think he needs to be limited to 15 minutes a game. Like, I think you have to cap it there. And I think, like you're saying, if you're on a run and there's a dead ball, just whatever, put him in. Because you can only have him when the rest of the team is playing well and Boston are on the back foot. When he came in earlier in the game, he came in the same time as Gary Payton, and it was just like, you know, it was like a positive and a negative cancelling each other out.
Yeah, true.
Like, he was so out of the flow on offense, they were going at him on defense, and then Gary Payton was just like holding the defense together, and then hitting corner threes and getting to the rim and transition himself. You know, we know GP2 isn't the, you know, he's not an offensive flamethrower, but it was nice to see him actually active on both ends of the floor after not playing for 2 months, you know, like, and playing well.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I feel really happy for him.
Yeah.
Fuck Dylan Brooks, man. But like that shit is actually bullshit.
Yeah.
And he broke his he fractured his left elbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how did he come back so good?
I know. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I was just looking through the Warriors rotation because I said there's 5 guys you don't have to really compromise for on the Celtics side. I think there's 7 on the Warriors. I think, and then 8 is Poole.
Yeah.
I think you got to play Poole because you got to play him because you just never know. He could spark up for a minute 19 and get 2 threes. But like, I just don't know when you play him.
Yeah.
I think you need to have him on the court with Draymond, GP, and then either one of Wiggins or Porter. And also when Brown or Tatum is off. And that's already like quite a lot of qualifiers. But that's like, yeah. But there's like probably a 4-minute stretch where you can make that happen.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to maximize him because he can be a game breaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he can be an X factor. He can, and I think you need to make that. You need to find a way to make that environment possible as Kerr, just because he can spark a single player run, and you know that's like if you can go +8 in 2 or 3 minutes as a team, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It just is, you know, if you bring him on and the circumstances aren't perfect, you know, if the water isn't just right temperature, you got to get out of the pool. But yeah, like I think him as the first guy off the bench, like, won't hold for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because we know how effective this team is at like introducing players at different points of the game. You know, like when Bielitsa came on at 2 points in this game, it was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. And it worked really well.
Yeah.
You know, it just gave him, like that extra little bit of passing. He looked fine on D as well. He was doing that Jokic thing where it's like, how are you keeping your hip to the defender? Like, you're so ungainly. But you know, that's the Bielitsa minutes. Like, how many do you play? I want to say outside of the fourth quarter.
Oh, outside of the fourth. All right, making me work a little bit. Outside of the fourth, he played 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
They were like the perfect 5 minutes and 3 seconds for him to be on the floor.
He had 4 points, 2 of 2 shooting, and 3 rebounds.
Yeah.
4 points, 3 boards in what? 5.5 minutes? 5 minutes, 3 seconds.
As the least important player on the court, that's so solid.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But the point is that what you get out of Jordan Poole in 5 minutes and 3 seconds, it could be 12 points.
yeah. But then it could also be like giving up 14.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When Bielitsa was on the court, I'm definitely a Warriors fan in this series. and it was a clinch. Like, it was a clinch anytime Bielitsa was on the court. And then, yeah, he just found a way to like, patch up his own, I guess, the holes in his own game. And then also be a net positive on offense. Like, I think he was definitely a part of winning the game.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a passenger. He was making shit happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. In 5 minutes, 3 seconds. Damn.
Now, if anyone was waiting
Sounds like my first one.
if anyone was waiting with bated breath to hear what my 7 players were for the Warriors, I feel like I should just explain myself.
Yeah.
Hold myself to account, because you know how we love that here at the D2. So I got Draymond, Steph, Wiggins, Thompson, Looney, Peyton, Otto Porter Jr. That's the 7.
That's so fair.
That's the 7. Yeah, I was thinking. I was looking down. I was like, you could even chuck on Kuminga if Porter or Wiggins get into foul trouble, but that's not the point.
No.
The point is, like, who can I be happy with if any combination of these 5 players is out there?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And I think, Porter, Wiggins, Looney have just done everything they need to do to an absolute T so far this series.
They have been incredible.
Yeah.
Wiggins, like, in the Mavs series, he was easily the Warriors' second best player. Draymond, I don't know why. I wasn't thinking basketball to do a video on why Draymond had such a bad series against the Mavs, but Wiggins was just so dependable, and like, he won him. He was like, I reckon he would have won. He would have been the most important player in a couple of their wins.
What was I? And Looney is already. Sometimes he just plays like a star, you know. Looney, I think in the first, like, he got the ball in the dunker's spot. Robert Williams went up to slap the shit out of him, and he just, like, pump faked one dribble under and then, like, back up. And it was so nice. It was just such a fluid play for a guy like that to do in the NBA Finals.
Yeah. I'm checking his game logs now, because he was 6 of 6 last game. Oh, okay, no. He was 1 of 4 in game 1. I don't understand how you can even do that.
That's why they lost, man. That's why they lost.
How can you even do that as Kevin Looney?
I don't know.
Miss.
I don't know what you're missing. Final point on the Warriors. I mean, it goes without saying, but you just got to give preps. You got to give preps to Steph Curry, man. To play as he's playing on offense at age 34, the attention he's getting, and, you know, anytime Tice or Grant Williams in particular were on the floor, he was going to get an open 3.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to get an open 3. But to be playing the way he's playing on offense, with the attention he's getting at age 34, and to not be, like, to be a net positive on defense is just so astonishing. Every time you look at a player like Kyrie or, like, I don't know, even Jordan Poole, let's say, and it's like, or Tyler Hero, it's like, what do you give up on defense for their offense? And Steph, at this age, it's not even a consideration. Like, he's obviously going to be the worst defender on the floor for the Warriors at times. But it's not like you can get the switch onto Steph and expect an easy bucket.
Yeah.
There were plenty of plays where, he's just done some ridiculous shit, and then Jason Tatum comes, gets the switch onto him, and he stays in front of him for the entire possession.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for from this man?
My only note on Steph was Steph, my goodness. Full stop, my goodness. Full stop. When the Warriors when the opposing team screens with Steph's man, and then they try and force the switch, the opposing team, and then the Warriors do that fake switch, ultra exaggerated hard hedge fake switch that's just obviously Steph's going to go and run and get his man, and then whoever the ball handler's man is going to recover. That shit turns into so many late clock situations because they waste 4 seconds with Steph like sideways to the guy he's defending, and it's usually Tatum, and he just never capitalizes on it. And they found a way to use Steph's weakness as a strength, the Warriors, because it works against you if you try and force the switch, because you're just wasting time and you're playing against yourself. But offensively. Like, there are some points where, outside of Steph, the Warriors team, I don't know if they'd crack 60 points without him. And he just keeps on delivering and keeps on delivering. And if you key in on him, as you've said many times, he's just the ultimate teammate. And they know how to play 4-on-3 without him, so you can't double. But then you got to double, so he doesn't have the ball and get 40. Did Sean say in the chat that he reckons the Celtics are going to double next game?
I can't remember. Probably.
Yeah. But like, yeah, even that's like one of the worst things you can do to the Warriors. I have three. I have predictions for what Draymond, Steph, and Clay are going to get against the Celtics in Game 3.
Yeah.
I reckon Steph is going to go for 24. Clay will crack 20. And I reckon Draymond might go off for 12.
Damn.
In a Celtics win.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to definitely take, like, over defend Steph.
Yeah. I think the most worrying thing for the Celtics from Game 2 is, and I think I had it written down here, going into after the first round or during the first round, I think we were all, as the general basketball commentariat, we're all generally like, wow, Poole, Steph, and Clay could combine for 80 or 90 every night of this playoffs. And the fact that in a 20-point win, Poole and Clay combined for 28, and Poole got most of his buckets when the game was essentially over. That's really worrying.
Yeah.
Because Steph Curry, obviously, you know, we've just said it all. We spent the last 5 minutes saying it. But if his ancillary pieces, like you're saying, are going to be the Warriors team that goes for 60, and you still can't, you know, get within 5 points, get within 10 points, then that's a concern.
Do you remember round 1, Steph was coming off the bench?
Yeah. God.
Crazy. How times have changed.
Feels like only yesterday. No, sorry, you go.
I actually had a question.
Yeah.
That started off as a rhetorical question, but then after I asked it, it's actually a genuine question. What month did we last see a team play this well against Boston's D? Like, the Warriors offensively look good.
Yeah.
In the conference finals, the Heat looked fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
The Bucks looked really bad, actually.
Terrible.
And then the Nets, I mean, the whole world was talking about, oh my God, KD's got to get his shot. Kyrie's got to get his shot. And they just looked so dreadful. But like, at no point in the first 3 rounds was there a 3-minute stretch where Boston's opponent looked good. Mm-hmm. And the Warriors have looked good for most of these games.
Yeah. I'm going to go off air and I'm going to find, I don't know what the number is, but there's going to be some lucky number that it's the last time that Boston conceded it. And it's going to be like December or something like that.
Right. Wait, what's the number? Like 110 or something?
Yeah, 115. Let's call it that.
Okay.
But it is, at the end of the day, it is the eye test. And you're right. The Warriors through 6 quarters of this series have looked really good on offense. And I don't think a team has managed more than 2 or 3 across a whole series against Boston so far.
Yeah, God. Yeah. It's quite crazy because I feel like that was definitely going to hold up. Which also kind of makes Boston's game 1 win even more impressive.
Yeah.
That their D wasn't like, it was great in the last quarter, but it wasn't like what it had been in the first 3 series, which just shows how well they were offensively.
Yeah.
Like how well they played offensively.
Yeah. Any final words? Do we want to do a little Game 3 preview prediction? You can guess you kind of hinted at it just then.
Yeah. Well, I reckon Boston.
Yeah, I think Boston. This is their first game back in Boston since they lost Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh my God.
So, it's like when the Pels went back to the Smoothie King Center in round 1.
It is like that, isn't it?
There's gonna be a festive atmosphere at the TD Garden. That's what they call it these days.
Yeah. Oh my god. I typed in Game 6. The first thing that comes up is Game 6 Clay. Song by Romello. Game 6 Clay. Was that... Because we watched that game at Sean's Game 6.
I wasn't there.
I
was puking.
Yeah. Okay. Was that last Sunday or the one before?
Was I in Sydney?
No, you were puking, I'm pretty sure.
Thanks, man.
Was that...
Oh, yeah, I watched that on the couch.
No, that's wrong.
No,
that was Game 3. That was Game 3 because...
Yeah.
The Heat had the however many steal advantage and won by like a point.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So I think coming off a loss like that, the way they played in Game 1, I think the Warriors are going to win the series. But yeah, definitely, I think a comfortable Boston win in Game 3.
And with the open of the door, that calls the end of the podcast.
Hey,
Go on.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to do a bit of a different one tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, you say? What?
Or tomorrow day. So, on the Deep 2, we're going to be recording with just Sean. JVG and Sean. Marco, Lucas, Sean.
I can't wait for this dynamic.
I'm very interested.
I think it's going to be nuts.
You reckon?
Well, I think Sean is probably one of the silliest men I know. But on the pod, he's the ultimate rainer.
Yeah.
You know, like he keeps things on track.
Yeah.
But we might be able to like gang up on him a bit.
Oh, yeah. Because I do find that we're actually both quite a bit more maniacal on the 4-man weave plus Mark.
Yeah. I think we flip between our two extremes on when we're on the Deep 2, you know? Here we're like...
Yeah. We do.
Here we're quite focused.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a bit of a laugh and we have a bit of a serious... But there will be like... You know, we'll do like a 12-minute... we'll do like a 12-minute gag to open the episode with. And then we'll immediately like switch to like professor mode. Well, actually, you know, I've been thinking about this quite a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like there's so many times where we'll be making a point and then someone will be like, oh, you're actually making a point.
Yeah. You're not just being a little bit of a dickling.
Yeah. I reckon we should just go absolutely hammering.
Yeah.
Because I was it just played my mind. I was trying to think of like how Dante and Alessio... Fucking shout out to my pronunciation. How they are. Aless will just come in with like the most well-refined take. And it'll just be like non-stop. Doesn't stutter over anything he says. Makes a great point over 2 minutes. Dante, very similar actually. Makes a great point over like, a minute or two. And then I'm just there like buzzing, waiting to just scream something.
You never get the first word on the 4-man weave plus Marco. I think it's intentional.
I used to, and I think it's good intent.
No, but you're a better you're better if you're the wall that the ball is being bounced off. You know what I'm saying?
I've been hitting the gym lately. I probably look a bit like a brick wall.
Oh, you had any news you wanted to share? Oh, you've been hitting the gym lately. Great.
Well, I think that just about does it.
Well, speaking about the Deep 2, actually.
Okay, go on.
I got a little. Got a little piece up on the deep2.com. It's pretty easy, I guess. Where it's a bit of a Miami Heat post-mortem after their loss to the Boston Celtics that we've been talking so much about this episode. But it's a bit of a takedown, if you will, on the idea of Heat culture and that this kind of intangible thing that's lived in Miami for the past 25 years is what wins you a basketball championship. I think given how Kyle Lowry played, given how unprepared some of their role players looked in that series, I think we need to start thinking twice about Heat culture.
Yeah. Look at us, man. I think this is back-to-back episodes. We've plugged one of our articles. The grind, it does not stop.
It really doesn't.
No, it's a really good article. I think that it's sorely needed as well because, someone needs to criticize it, and you did it so well. You just like. You write so well, like it's on the longer side of reads, but like each paragraph needs the paragraph that is before and after it, and you just follow like the way you write it is very like refined and quite professionally done.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, it's kind of cathartic to be like, actually, kind of fuck them.
Yeah. I agree, and I say that as I'm generally a fan of the Miami Heat organization and like love a lot of their players. But yeah, I think they need taking down the pegs.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, I'll bloody speak to you tomorrow night, buddy.
Oh yeah. See ya.